Hey class, so we're starting our new section on the cardiovascular system. If you have any questions as you move through this, let me know. Alright, here we go. So we're going to be in Chapter 5, the cardiovascular system, heart and blood vessels. So what do we want to think about as we move through this chapter? We want to think about what are the functions of the cardiovascular system, what is the anatomy of the heart, of the blood vessels, such as veins and arteries. We'll start to try to look at, do those structures play a role in the functions that it's able to carry out? How is the heartbeat regulated? What is blood pressure? And then what are the common cardiovascular diseases and how might you prevent them? So, knowing all this about the heart and the cardiovascular system, how does it play into our everyday lives? So what is the cardiovascular system? It includes the heart and the blood vessels. You probably think of it as carrying oxygen and maybe to the cells and CO2 away, but we're going to find and talk about how it does a lot of other things like bringing nutrients to the cells and helping get rid of wastes. Blood is refreshed in the lung, the kidneys, the intestine, the liver, so there's going to be a lot of partner systems that we're going to see. And another system that it works with is the lymphatic system, using lymphatic vessels to help collect excess fluid from surrounding tissues and returning it to the cardiovascular system. Again, it plays a key role in homeostasis and body regulation, not on its own, but interacting with other systems. So we can see the cardiovascular system here with the heart and the blood vessels traveling out all throughout the body. One of its main partners is going to be the respiratory system. So that's where we're going to bring in oxygen and then allow CO2 to leave the body. It interacts with all the tissues. When it interacts with the tissues, it's bringing that oxygen and CO2. It's also going to interact with the digestive system to get the nutrients that the body needs and to carry those around. And then also the urinary system, the kidneys, to make sure that wastes are able to leave the body. So what are the functions? Its main role is transport. It's got to carry oxygen into the body, carbon dioxide out. It's going to carry other waste products and then nutrients in and out of the cells. So it provides protection. It's going to transport immune system cells around the body to help protect from infection. And then it plays a role in regulation and maintaining homeostasis of a variety of the body's conditions. So what's the main pathway? So it is a closed system. It's a loop that starts and ends at the heart. So you start with the heart, you go through the arteries, out through the arterioles, and into the capillary beds, where it can interact with tissues. Exchanges can happen, and then blood will head back up through the venules, through the veins, back to the heart. So the arteries are the main pipeline that carry blood away from the heart. They're going to have 3 layers: a thin inner epithelium, a thick smooth muscle layer, and then an outer connective tissue. And that should probably say a very thick smooth muscle layer, as you'll see in a few minutes. The arterioles are sort of the next branch off. They're small arteries that regulate blood pressure. Ultimately, then it will connect with capillaries, and these are the microscopic vessels that are between the arterioles and the venules. This is sort of where the business happens. It's made up of one epithelial tissue layer, and these beds are where exchange can occur. This is where they interact with the tissues and allow the gas exchange, nutrient exchange, waste exchange to happen with body tissues and body cells. And the way they're set, the structure allows for a large surface area for all of that exchange to occur. So again, structure is going to play a role in its function. So taking a look at it, you can see, this is showing all of it. So you've got your arteries, your arterioles, and then you're moving into these capillary beds where you have this huge surface area, and then back through your venules and back up through your veins to the heart. So the venules, they're the small veins that receive blood from the capillaries. Venule and venules also have 3 layers: a thin epithelium, a thick smooth muscle layer, and an outer connective tissue. And then the veins will carry the blood back toward the heart. So there's sort of that main pipeline going back into the heart. Veins that carry blood against gravity. So all those that are sort of coming up from the lower parts of your body, they're going to have valves in them to keep the blood from flowing backwards. So they'll have these sort of check valves that keep the blood flowing in the right direction. So how can you tell the difference between an artery and a vein? Well, the arteries are going to have, again, they both have 3 layers. You're going to see these huge, thick muscle layers, smooth muscle layers, like we learned about last when we talked about tissues. So we're going to see a huge smooth muscle layer in the arteries, and that's to handle those pressures as it's coming directly off of the heart. And then you'll see a smaller smooth muscle layer, but a larger layer of that outer connective tissue in the veins, as they're playing a role with sort of the lower pressure, but keeping the blood moving in the right direction. All right, so as you go through these notes, let me know if there's any questions that come up, and we'll look forward to seeing you back in class.